Howdy everyone, Warsarsa here, and today we'll be looking at Summer in Mara on Xbox One. I'm just gonna get this out of the way and say that at this moment I'm still playing the game. As is expected with a farming simulator, it's a big game. Still, I'm far enough into the game that I feel I'm capable of giving my opinion on it. Summer in Mara is a farming simulator game. Even though the developer is classified as a sort of experience, it more so falls into the farming simulator category, where you play as a girl named Koa, who was raised by a not human woman whose name I can't exactly remember, but she's this blue thing. Some of the main things you'll do are the standard growing of crops and planting of trees on your island, as well as mining metals and fishing for various fish using the correct baits for each different fish. The fishing works quite well, as rather than a button masher to pull a fish in, you have a slide that you're supposed to keep the fish icon in. And of course, while crops will naturally grow on their own, you can speed them up with water from a well, which has limited uses for either need refilling from rainwater or replacement entirely. When I first started the game, I wasn't sure the quality would hold up. The animated video early on, while amazing, I thought would pretty much be the height of the game, but thankfully I was wrong and the game managed to hold itself up quite well. Now, I'm not usually into farming games, especially ones that give you limited energy each day to do stuff. However, I've been enjoying this one a lot, so take that how you will. There's a lot of characters with their own personality, and not just the story important ones, and Koa herself goes from a helpless girl that can't even cook on her own to running an entire island all by herself. Speaking of islands, there are many to visit via boat, with your island being the island to grow crops and produce, while Quelus is the sort of market island where you buy and sell, as well as get quests from a bunch of different characters. There's also a bunch of extra islands to find goodies on, as well as go to for some quest objectives. You can even go diving on a few of them, which is like a 2D minigame where you'll have to loot chests at the bottom of the ocean while using air bubbles along the way to make sure you don't drown. Honestly, after the beginning tutorial of the game, I don't find myself often on the home island, as most of the time you'll be running around Quelus back and forth doing quests for people that usually revolve around some sort of craft this, cook this, or go talk to this person. Seriously, you'll be doing a lot of this, as I've actually spent multiple hours on this island alone, just doing quests without actually having to go home for a long time. In a way, these portions of the playthrough made it feel a little less like a farming simulator and more like an RPG, only without the leveling up. When you're not home, you can either sleep in your boat for free for half energy at the start of the day, or pay 40 coins for full rest at the end. Of course, I found out that you can just eat and that will restore energy as well as hunger too, so I prefer to go the cheapskate route and just use the boat with some food alongside it. Before I get on with my final thoughts, I'd like to briefly point out what I think is a One Piece reference right here. There are a few rough spots in the game, but not too many. Like, if you try to jump a wall, you'll sometimes get stuck for a few seconds, but other than that, nothing game breaking. Just every now and then you'll be reminded that this isn't some AAA game, but rather an indie game. But again, farming sims usually not my thing. I tried a few such as Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Rune Factory if that counts, and even a tiny snippet of Stardew Valley, and none of them have held my attention like Summer in Mara. Of course, compared to those games, this likes to stick to its own thing, whereas those branch off a little with things like romance and some minor RPG elements. Summer in Mara doesn't feature any of that. And while the other games more like to push you to giving yourself proper rest, in this you can go about things for long periods of time, especially being able to just restore energy with food. And when you do have to rest, you're able to get back into things so quickly. Especially since if you pass out, the only punishment you really get is starting a new day with less energy. I'm not sure if more hardcore fans of the genre would find this leniency off-putting, but for me, it just makes this game a lot easier to keep playing. So if you want this game yourself, it's available on the Microsoft Store for $25. I'd like to thank Chibig for sending me the review key. This is Warsarsi in the Game Clips channel, and I'm out.